All right, if you've ever wanted a real, no-fluff roadmap to get into ethical hacking, this is it. Today, we are breaking down your entire first year, step by step, into a journey you can actually follow.
So let's just cut to the chase. In a field that moves at lightning speed, what does it really take to go from zero to a job offer? Well, this right here is your map. This is your definitive guide through the, let's be honest, kind of complex world of cybersecurity. So, let's get into it. We've broken this down into 4 key stages. First, we're going to build that rock-solid foundation with what I call the foundational Trinity. Then, we'll get our hands dirty with the hacker methodology and the essential toolkit. After that, we level up with the advanced skills that'll actually get you hired. And finally, we'll talk about the professional mindset that separates the amateurs from the pros.
Okay, Section 1. And look, I really can't stress this enough. Your journey has to start with the absolute non-negotiable essentials. Before you even dream of firing up a hacking tool, you've got to spend your first few months building this foundation.
And this right here? This is the golden rule. It's the entire reason we start with the boring stuff first. You see, hacking isn't some magic trick. It's about understanding a system so completely that you can see where it's going to break. It's about knowing the rules of the game better than the people who made it.
So what is this foundation? Well, it's the foundational Trinity. These are the 3 pillars that every single successful ethical hacker has built their entire career on: networking, Linux, and scripting. Let's dig into each one.
First up, networking. This is the absolute backbone of everything we do. I mean, every single attack, whether you're snatching a password or taking over a server, it all happens across a network. If you don't get how that data is zipping between machines, there's just no way you can intercept it or manipulate it.
Yeah, looking at these concepts, you might get a little intimidated, but it's simpler than you think. Think of TCP like certified mail. It does a handshake to make sure everything gets there safe and sound. UDP? That's more like a postcard. It's way faster, but no guarantees. You've got to learn the common ports, too. Port 22 for SSH, for example. That's like knowing the specific key that opens the secure front door to a server. You're basically learning the grammar of the internet.
All right, pillar number 2, Linux. Now, you might be using Windows or a Mac right now. That's cool for everyday stuff. But the world of hacking? That world runs on Linux. Systems like Kali or Parrot OS, they are literally built from the ground up with hundreds of security tools baked right in. Getting comfortable in that black box terminal is a must.
And that means you have to master the command line. We're talking about everything from jumping around folders and files to changing who gets to read or write them, all the way to installing new tools and running commands as the all-powerful admin. That command line is going to become your new best friend.
And the final piece of our Trinity is scripting. Now hold on, before you panic, you do not need to become a software developer. That is not the goal. The goal is to be able to read code you find online, like an exploit, and to write your own simple scripts to automate the boring, repetitive stuff. Trust me, this is a massive force multiplier. It turns what could be a 10-hour manual task into a quick 10-minute script.
When it comes to what language to learn, it's not even a debate anymore. Python is the undisputed king. And why? Well, it's kind of a massive toolbox of pre-built libraries that do all the heavy lifting for you, like requests for messing with websites, or Escapee for building custom network packets. You combine that with some basic bash scripting for the terminal, and you've got a seriously powerful combo.
Okay, so we've built our foundation. It's solid. Now it's time to move into Section 2. This is where we go from theory to practice. This is where you learn to think like a hacker and actually start using the tools of the trade.
Here's something you have to understand. Professional hacking is not random. It is not like the movies where someone just furiously types on a keyboard and they're in. No, it follows a very clear step-by-step process. And these are the 5 stages. From gathering intel and reconnaissance all the way to gaining access and exploitation. This is the playbook you'll use on every single job.
And to run that playbook, you need tools. Nmap is like your digital scout, mapping out networks and finding all the open doors and windows. Burp Suite is your ultimate web hacking multi-tool, letting you sit in the middle and mess with all the data going between a browser and a server. And Metasploit? Think of it as a huge library of digital skeleton keys for thousands of known vulnerabilities. Now, the most important part is practice. And let me be clear, do not hack your neighbor. Build a home lab with VirtualBox, get Kali Linux running, and practice legally on amazing platforms like TryHackMe or Hack the Box.
All right, let's kick it up a notch with Section 3. So, you're comfortable with the basics, you know your way around the core tools. Now it's time to learn the skills that will actually set you apart in 2026. These are the skills that make you job ready.
And this quote right here is just pure gold. Think about it. Over 90% of the biggest companies in the world use Microsoft's Active Directory to run their entire network. If you know how to find weaknesses in that system, using crazy-sounding attacks like Kerber roasting to steal credentials, you immediately become an incredibly valuable candidate.
The second huge area is web security. Your starting point has to be the OWASP Top 10. It's a list of the most critical web attacks out there, like SQL injection. But looking ahead to 2026, the real new frontier is agentic AI security. We're not just talking about chatbots anymore. These are AI systems that can think and act on their own. You need to get familiar with the OWASP Top 10 for these systems to understand brand new threats like agent goal hijacking, where an attacker can literally trick an AI into working for them. This stuff is what's going to make you future-proof.
And that brings us to our final section, the professional hacker's mindset. Because, look, being a pro in this field is about so much more than just technical skills. It's not just about what you can break. It's about the value you create for a client from what you find.
This slide nails it. It's the two sides of the same coin. The technical skill is finding the vulnerability, finding the broken window. But the professional value, that's being able to write a clear, simple report that explains how the window broke and tells the business exactly how to fix it. Without that second part, the first part is just, well, it's just a party trick.
So what does this whole package look like? It's someone with a relentless drive to keep learning, because this is a constant cat and mouse game. It's the ability to prove your skills, with certs like Security Plus or the OSCP that get your resume past the HR filters, but more importantly, with amazing report writing. And finally, it's having the people skills to explain super complex problems to people who aren't technical at all.
So there you have it, the foundational trinity, the hacker's methodology, the advanced skills you'll need for 2026, and the professional mindset to tie it all together. You literally have the complete map right in front of you. The only question left is, where are you going to let this journey take you?